state pension fund isn't going to be the only account in Colorado that feels some effect from Russia's invasion. Gas prices for all of us are expected to rise a bit, despite the energy that's produced here in Colorado. Marshall Zellinger explains why any reduction in oil and gas coming from Russia will be felt everywhere.
When you've got a thick book on Europe on your shelf, and you're a professor of international relations and European politics at DU, you're a good resource on how a war thousands of miles away impacts us financially in Colorado.
A quarter of Europe's oil comes from Russia. I think 40% of European gas comes from Russia. To the extent that there are restrictions in those supplies coming from Russia, that means that energy supplies overall around the world are going to be constricted. And that's what could feed into higher fuel prices for Americans in the short term.
Even though oil and gas is produced in Colorado, gas prices are based on the price of a barrel of oil.
Oil trades on a global scale, so when you see that instability, you will begin to experience that here at the gas pump and the cost for heating our homes.
Even before this conflict, we were already expecting demand to outpace supply because of the downturn with COVID, because of the Russia-Saudi price war that occurred, in March of 2020. I mean, our economy and our industry is still in recovery mode.
Lynn Granger is the executive director of American Petroleum Institute Colorado. She spent time in Ukraine in the U.S. Army after Russia invaded Crimea in 2014.
So I've really seen firsthand what it means to be dependent on another nation for your energy resources. And it's very real and it's very scary when things like this happen.
When you produce energy closer to home, it's easier to keep those costs lower.
When a major exporter of oil and gas is mired in war, like Russia, the ripple will be felt regardless of where we get our energy from.
It also means potentially for U.S. energy producers that there's more opportunities to export U.S. energy globally, which could ultimately be an upside. But I think in the short term, people can expect to pay more for energy.
Put simply, if Russia starts to cut off oil and gas supplies to other countries in Europe, those other countries will seek oil and gas elsewhere. Less product, demand increases. Everyone then feels the effect of war.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of those things where even though America's domestic production, at least over the last couple of years, has been sufficient for our needs in a way that has not been in a long time, so much of the rest of the world is so interconnected with Russia's supply that you're taking it out of the pot, you're taking it out for everybody.
And that's why anybody would feel it. Now, natural gas, what heats your home versus oil that everyone is trading for, like natural gas is more localized.
Yeah.
So if there were other efforts locally or nationally here, you may not feel the effect that much from what would happen in this Russian invasion, but because of the price of oil globally, everyone's going to feel that.
Marshall, thank you.